Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Ross Johnson. The Tennessee Titans got eviscerated yesterday by the Jacksonville Jaguars, 25-3. Quarterback Cam Ward went 24 of 38 for 141 yards, and the Titans had 3 sacks on the day from Jahad Ward, Jeffrey Simmons, and Kevin Winston Jr. Vanderbilt beat Tennessee 45-24 to go 10-2 on the year and put themselves in a good position for the playoffs. Diego Pavia had 433 total yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks, while running back Cedric Alexander rushed for 115 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's been a wild weekend for the college football coaching carousel. Yesterday, Lane Kiffin accepted a 7-year deal to be the head coach of LSU. Ole Miss defensive coordinator Pete Golding will step in and be the new permanent head coach for the Rebels. Arkansas hired former Memphis head coach Ryan Silverfield. Former Tennessee offensive coordinator and USF head coach Alex Golesh heads to the Plains to be the next head coach of Auburn. Florida hired former Tulane head coach John Sumrall as their next head man. Sumrall will finish out the remainder of the season with Tulane as they play in the conference championship this weekend. And lastly, Kentucky fired head coach Mark Stoops. Week 13, the NFL wraps up tonight as the Patriots host the Giants. Kickoff is set for 7:15 p.m., and you can hear Westwood One's coverage of the game right here on The Zone. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once in your home for the Titans of Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number, and we're broadcasting live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Downs. And you know what? I just don't want to start with the Titans today. Let's start with everything that happened over the weekend.
See, you're the guy that runs from the smoke.
I mean, we're going to get to it.
I mean,
we're going to get to it. I just feel like there's more fun.
You're Lane Kiffin right there. You run from the smoke.
We're going to get there. I just don't want to start off our Monday with bad football. That's all I'm saying. It was terrible, atrocious football.
It's been imposters the last couple of weeks. They went right back to who we thought they were.
I mean, they went. Not only that, when you go back and watch the offensive film, they went back and pulled like the Brian Callahan playbook, just daggers every play. Like, let's just call spam daggers and let's spam deep shots. And even though that Jaguars defense was showing them some stuff after the snap,
right,
but nothing spectacular,
right?
But they were just executing it efficiently. We'll get to all that.
Man, that was rough.
It was a rough one.
Us there on that first drive.
It was a tease.
Teasers.
It was a big
I had the running game
tease
going. I was like, this is what's happening. And then it wasn't.
We got a lot in college football to go to. We got Lane Kiffin finally commits to LSU. Auburn hires Alex Golesh, who is rumored to already have taken the Arkansas job on Friday.
Yeah, they duped me on that one.
Yeah, University of Florida hires Tulane coach John Sumrall. Arkansas lands on Ryan Silverfield, who's from the University of Memphis. Ole Miss promotes Pete Golding, their defensive coordinator, to not just interim, permanent head coach. Yeah. Michigan State eats $31 million to fire Jonathan Smith. UK eats $38 million to fire Mark Stoops. The JMU football coach is hired or rumored to be signing with UCLA, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like, there's so much going on. And all this, Eli Drinkowitz quietly had an extension signed over the weekend. Did not even know that. That didn't even pop up anywhere on my Twitter feed because Clark Lee got an extension over the weekend. So, I mean, so much going on right now in the NCAA.
I think it's 21 coaches, someone told me, and I don't know if that's true. Ross probably can verify. 21 coaches?
I mean, Penn State still hasn't even hired a coach. And they're the first one to fire a coach. I mean, like, they were the first team.
What are they waiting on? Who are they going to get?
I don't know. Like, the betting odds favorite right now is the BYU coach. And then Brian Daboll's the second best betting odds, but the best ones are there. But the longer you wait, I mean, are you really getting your guy if you wait? Kind of reminds me when Mike Munchak got hired after, like they waited for so long to hire Mike Munchak, and it kind of felt like you missed out. But they also waited so long to fire Jeff Fisher at the time. Like Penn State had a head start. I have no clue what they're doing right now.
I think Penn State's going to hire DeBoer.
There you go. Enjoy it, Penn State. Enjoy
He's
it.
going to leave Alabama for a better job in Penn State. Really?
Apparently, and Heupel, I think, is moving up the odds for the Penn State job, too. That was a rumor that popped up over the weekend.
Really?
But Chris Lowe has debunked that rumor, says no one credible that he has heard that he knows has said that. But, hey, stuff changes. That rumor popped up for some reason. Maybe it's just Penn State wants it known that they want it out there.
I think I saw that on my timeline.
Yeah.
I don't tweet out rumors.
Yeah, what was funny last night, the Mark Stoops news dropped, and I retweeted it because I saw some other people retweet it. That turned out to be a fake account, a fake Pete Noco's account, and then then it like an hour, so I unretweeted when I figured it out, and then just like 30 minutes later, the news actually broke. So the fake account was actually right.
Oh, they were just a little ahead of the game.
A little ahead of the game. So it's just, it's wild. I have no clue what's going to happen. But here's the question I think is interesting and I've seen a few people ask this. Does Lane Kiffin win a national championship with LSU? And I think it's an interesting question. First off, it's a very hard question to answer because only one person can win a national championship. And in the NIL world, we're a little bit more competitive, a little bit more parity. But if I had to bet money on it, I think he does. I think that if he stays there long enough, I guess I should put the caveat. If he stays there long enough, he'll do it. Because I do think the recruiting opportunities are probably better for him down there at LSU than they really were at Ole Miss.
I think that's the wrong question to ask.
Ooh, okay. What's the right question to ask?
The right question to ask is, if Ole Miss wins the national championship, do you give Lane Kiffin a ring even though he didn't coach in the playoffs?
No.
No,
See you later.
you can't do that, right? You can't do that.
He's already apparently making $1 million if they won it all. Anyways, from LSU.
It was all the players he collected.
Yeah, what do you think about that? That LSU's going to pay if for all the playoff bonuses that Ole Miss may earn, LSU's going to pay Lane Kiffin that.
Hey, that's
kind of crazy. I thought
that's balling, man.
Hey, they got what did what did you call it? Or was you or Chris Phillips said they got that mafia voodoo money down there? They apparently got a lot of it.
Yeah, I think Chris Phillips
sounds like something Chris would
say. They're going to do whatever they can to get him.
I mean, they did a lot to get him. They got him, and
Do you think Ole Miss matched it?
I don't know if they necessarily did or not, to be honest. I would assume not. But because we heard from Chris Phillips a couple weeks ago, but 2 weeks ago to be exact, he said that they were offering more money in NIL but less money in totality to Lane Kiffin. So more NIL budget now. I don't know where it actually ended up. Because you never know in these negotiations. Sometimes you just cut off the negotiation straight from the get-go. Like if you put out your best offer, and if he doesn't want to stay, he doesn't want to stay. I just don't know how the negotiations went. I know that he wasn't allowed to go to that meeting allegedly yesterday.
He said he wasn't allowed to go. He said Keith Carter told him not to go.
Well, I mean, that's his side of the story. I'm assuming that is the correct side, but I mean, that is also his side of the story. And he's the only one that's put that out there as far as I know. We haven't heard from the athletic director that Keith Carter, from what I've seen, we haven't heard it. It doesn't mean that I missed it or anything, but yeah. I mean, kind of a wild scenario. Lane Kiffin down at LSU. What's the next job he takes? Is that the next question?
That's kind of the next question. It's like, if Alabama was open, or if he was offered, like $12 million to coach the Titans, would he leave? Like do like a portal, like you transfer to one school and you actually didn't really ever show up there, and then you end up taking another job or going to another school, just like a player. So I think that's kind of why Lane Kiffin, and he loves the attention. So that's kind of weird to me to a certain extent, because that's kind of like a player. A coach always is going to be the front figure of, being the head coach of a university, of a football team, especially a major program. And I think he likes that banter and everything else, just like when the guy called him out of his name. You know, he brought, I mean, it was all out there.
Yeah.
I called him H-O-E. I mean, you know, like, what?
Which, by the way, props to that dude now, because I think at first everyone was on Kiffin's side for confronting that kid or that dude. I'm on that dude's side. I'm
How
on
did
that
he
dude's
phrase
side.
it, though?
He said, can't turn into a housewife.
Yes, yeah.
And Kiffin said, come in here after we just beat Mississippi State and call me that and see what happens.
Yeah. I was sitting there reading, I was like, oh, my.
Apparently, Ho is making a comeback. I mean, like, because there's someone. Well, I figured we can. I mean, like, I don't know.
I don't know. That's what I say.
Maybe not. But anyway, a bunch of players were saying it yesterday on the Tennessee Titans. No, it was Cam Hayward, maybe.
No, it was
someone
on
said
the
it
Browns
yesterday
about Jawan Jennings.
Was it
Malik Collins,
I
I think?
Was it Myles Garrett or Malik Collins?
Malik Collins is talking about Jawan Jennings.
It's called to him a hoe too. So like it's just apparently I guess it's making a comeback.
It was some big dude, man. He's the one who was going after Jennings. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
I saw it went kind of viral.
Isn't it funny though? That's Lane Kiffin's last time walking off a field in the Ole Miss like apparel, and he's just saying like, "Hey, call me a hoe, see what happens."
There you go. All right,
whatever happened to words can't hurt you. I mean, like.
I don't know. I think that's an interesting discussion I want to have with you because
man, I've been called way worse in a game.
Yeah.
And these old softies now can't even take somebody's saying. I mean, people talk about your mama, your wife. I mean, man, it's all kind of stuff that goes on out there.
That's what I said to Ross and Joseph, and they looked at me like I was crazy. I was like,
that's been going on for years, every game. I would just dare somebody like, what'd you say?
Well, because then you could just can't you just handle it between the whistles?
Oh yeah, exactly. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Oh, so then you're not gonna get in my head like, okay.
Yeah.
Now when I hit you, I'm gonna make sure I turn so you hit your shoulder right on the carpet, bang, and I'm gonna fall right on it, and then I'm gonna put my, you know what, all up in your face. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
See,
like
that's how you handle that, and then you don't say nothing. They go, oh, I need to leave him alone.
I wasn't saying I didn't like the trash talk. I was just saying if Logan Cook had said that to me yesterday, I would have made him feel it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
no
make him feel it between the whistles. I was talking about starting a fight, getting into a fight, and all that kind of stuff, is just, especially if it's just the punter. All right, we'll talk more about that later as well. But coming up next, because we're going to be carrying Mike McCoy, we're going to kind of wrap up our talk of these SEC changes and talk about maybe a little bit of Vandy UT as well. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
I'll be home for Christmas. You can count on me. I'll be home for Christmas. If only in my dreams.
Smashville hockey. Around here, it can sound like a language of its own. But hey, if you can pronounce Demumbrian, then names like Yossi, Shea, and Marchessault will roll right off the tongue. Nashville Predators, only in Smashville.
One of the largest sports books east of the Mississippi, Circa Sports Kentucky, is now open. Catch all your favorite games on an 80-foot screen with stadium-style seating and live VSiN broadcast daily. Circa Sports, now open at the Mint Gaming Hall, Kentucky Downs.
My dad and I used to golf together all the time, but when he hurt his back, it was over.
To have your son want to spend time with you is amazing. That's why my chronic back pain has been so heartbreaking. Surgery, fused bones, long recovery. No way, not for me. A friend recommended stem cells, so I gave Kellum Stem Cell Institute a call.
I'm glad you're out on the course.
Yeah, it's really good.
Call the Kellum Stem Cell Institute today. Swing still looks just okay, though.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is number if you want to call in. We got a caller.
Who's Ear?
Is this Earl or Ear?
It's Ear.
The skimmer was messing, or the thing was messing up on me. It's Bear.
Bear?
Bear, not Ear.
Okay, so it's not Ear. It's not Earl.
It wasn't,
it's Bear.
it wasn't registering the keyboard.
Okay. All right, Bear, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Bear.
Hitman Professor, what's up?
What's up?
All right, guys. Yes, sir. I just want to comment on Tennessee, man. I'm thinking Man, next year, man, Hyper got to be on the hot seat, man. He don't win 10 games. He got to go, man, because you can't lose 3. They lost 3 games in Neyland, bro. You just can't do that, man. And then they got their butts handed to them. That Vandy. It just can't go. And I'm saying the man got to be on the hot seat next year. You got to win 10 next year, man. And if they get rid of man, what y'all think about T. Martin coming in there? All right, guys.
All right, thanks. I think you can aim higher than T. Martin. Not to dismiss T. Martin, but I mean, you can aim a little higher.
Hey, that's a friend of mine, by the way. So that's why I'm laughing. I'm like, whoa, he caught me off guard there. I know he's the quarterbacks coach for the Ravens. Just on inside there, he got me tickets to the Ravens game. That I went
there
to.
You go. There you go. Then you can get some free tickets to
They got smoked by the Texans when I went to the game. But I don't know. I think they would maybe as the OC or something like that. Yeah.
21-21 at the half. -6 rushing yards, I believe, in the second half for the University of Tennessee. And so they were in the game, and then Vanderbilt just does what Vanderbilt has done to a lot of teams over the last 2 years. They just are out physical you and tire you out and extend drives. I mean, some of the drives they had were just, you can't stop us, so we're just going to take our time
like
going down the field.
First drive.
Yeah, it's like the Titans' first drive. But I thought I was crazy when I heard it yesterday, but I heard it from Doug Matthews on my way into the pregame show. Mm-hmm. But he brought up what Bear, not Ear, just said, and that was they 3 of their 4 losses came at home, and I was like, "Ooh, that's not good."
Who else did they lose to?
Georgia and Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh, that Oklahoma one was Ooh.
Like, I get it. Georgia is a top-tier team. Vanderbilt's a very good team. Oklahoma, I know Alabama's lost to Oklahoma, but I really don't believe in this Oklahoma team, like as a whole.
But defensively, they had a great game plan, and they got it done, Tier, man, he was 3 games removed from an injury. He played well. They took him out of the game. Controlling the line of scrimmage is the recipe to beating Tennessee, especially on the offensive side, because you're ball controlling. You're keeping that big play offense on the side, and then you don't give up any big plays. I thought Vanderbilt did a real good job. They said, hey, we're not going to give up any big plays, but we're going to play man-to-man. If you're beat, we're just going to we're going to hold you or pass interference because we're going to live for another down. Only big play they got was Brazzell, and that's when the guy was looking to the sideline and the coach was telling him, and the guy ran right by him. Because I was wondering what happened, and I'm like, dang, the guy, because he
that 52-yard completion.
Yeah, he looked back.
How did it take him that long to get the coverage?
Right, he looked back. Like, I said, oh, maybe the safety blew him. When they showed the replay, I was like, oh, my, he was talking to the coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was somebody on that sideline.
Diego Pavia, 268 yards through the air, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. When he threw that first interception, I was like, oh, man, Tennessee's probably going to win this game. I kind of gave up a little early because, I saw him do that against Alabama. Yeah. And then he goes and adds 165 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Cedric Alexander had 10 carries for 115 yards and 3 touchdowns. And McKillian Young, who I probably just butchered his name, also had a touchdown on the ground. So 5 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdown. So opposite of kind of what they did in the Alabama game, even though they had 2 interceptions, they stayed committed to the run game against Tennessee.
Well, that's where the physicality came in, in the trenches, which is weird because I thought they were just better coached. When I say that, I thought the game plan was better. They came out second half. They let Diego become part of the running game, and then all things kind of changed as that went along. Then that opened it up for the other running back. So then they made timely plays, and then he did his scrambling and, his, Johnny Manziel type play there, and it was making plays. That one there, man, that one's going to sting for a long time for a lot of the fan base there. For Tennessee, this is the way it happened. Now, just think about this now. If Vanderbilt didn't turn the ball over in the first half, what do you think the score would have been? Because that kept Tennessee actually in the game. Mm-hmm. See,
no joke.
Like, it was halftime. People only look what's in front of you. Oh, it's 21-21. Oh, it's a good game, No. In theory, if Vanderbilt comes out in the second half and does exactly the same thing, they just tweak some things.
Yep.
They win, and all they had to do was not turn over the ball in the red zone, which was kind of a thing, as you said, Alabama and everything else for Vanderbilt. So, man, I'm going to say this. That was I haven't seen that in a long time. That was a butt whooping.
That was a physical
They physically
butt whipping
got
game.
after you. And so I know a lot of people talking about the defense and Tim Banks, and I didn't even know this. Bananas, those guys were talking about, Hypo has never, in theory, fired a coach. Now, he may have told a coach, hey, you need to look for a job, and the guy got a job somewhere else, so he never, actually fired him. So will he go down that road if he believes after, reviewing everything about the whole entire season, whether players were available or not, was it really the defense?
Yeah.
And then where are you going to get your replacement? You got to think that before you even start talking about asking somebody, because can we get somebody better? It's not just because it's Tennessee, but will they come in? Who's going to make a lateral move unless you're moving up? So you got to have some guys in mind. So, man, that's just a tough call there, man. Because I
go back and forth, and I'm like, yeah, I could see the case for Tim Banks being fired, but I'm also like, well, think about all the injuries they've had on this defense. Kind of a patchwork young defense. Well, don't you want that young defense to kind of grow with Tim Banks? And yeah, they allowed 45 points to Vanderbilt, but where was the offense in the second half?
Right.
I mean, your defense can only be on the field for so long. And listen, they got to get themselves off the field as well.
Down. Yep.
But I mean,
they were working together. That was for sure.
It was a complimentary football, and how much of that is Tim Banks? How much of that is Josh Heupel? How much of that is just Vanderbilt?
And then why did they run the one play where the guy was short on fourth down? Was it fourth down or third down, and they couldn't get it because he didn't even run Brazo didn't run it deep enough, and he was open.
Yeah,
and he failed because it was a bad throw.
Yeah.
It was a lot of little mistakes here or there, but in theory, they got out physicaled and out coached on both sides of the ball, in my opinion.
Well, speaking of being out coached, we'll hear from Mike McCoy, Tennessee Titans interim head coach, coming up next. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
We all know holiday season is upon us, and enjoy the holiday parties, but don't gain the holiday weight. The approach to weight loss at Edge Peptide and Hormone Therapy is different. We make sure all patients have extensive lab work and face-to-face conversations in office with the nurse practitioner to create a customized treatment plan tailored to your specific needs. They use only U.S.-based FDA-audited compounding pharmacies because knowing where your peptides come from always matters. And also, they enjoy access to their in-body scanner to track weight loss and make sure you're maintaining muscle mass, as well as lowering your A1C, keeping all your cravings, which I have all the time, in check, prioritizing protein, and having someone guide your journey from start to finish. So call the team at Edge Peptide for all your wellness questions at 615, of course, 724-1878. That's 724-1878 or edgepeptide.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. We go to St. Thomas Sports Park, where interim head coach Mike McCoy is talking.
Ready to roll? Y'all got ready to go? Okay, no injury updates, same as yesterday. I told you guys about the two guys. Just really to kind of summarize the game, not good enough, obviously. You can't have 10 penalties against a good team and do what we did and extend drives, and there's a couple opportunities there for the defense to get off the field. One at the end of the half, then start the second half, and there's penalties that extend the drive, and it leads to points. So we've got to do a better job there overall. Offensively, obviously, do a better job on third down. You can't convert the way we did. We talk about sustaining drives, and that's something you guys had asked about the weeks before, about how we've improved that. So there's just certain things that you've got to do better. I thought Tony did a nice job running the ball. The 10 carries for 60 yards. We got to build off of that moving forward. And, you got to run the ball more attempts as the game goes along. When the score's a certain way, and to get more attempts there running the football. But I think, too many opportunities we let slip by during the game to play the way we want to play. So we got to play better moving forward. That's what this week's about. It's an opportunity to move forward and learn from the mistakes we made and get better. And that's what we got to do. Go on the road.
Speaking of the run game, what was it that made you get away from it after having such a good start?
Well, I think situationally, as the game went on, we had the first drive was out. And we talked about having a fast start. That was what we want to talk about all week long. I think the defense started that, getting the sack to end. Obviously, Jacksonville's first possession, us going down there, having an 11-play drive, getting points, and moving the ball. But then after that, you look at it, then we're going to get the ball the next time, and there's a turnover in the kicking game. And then we have, three and outs in a row, so you don't get in the groove of you might run it one time, depending on what the series is here and there, and then you don't have success on third down, so you're punting the ball. So if you don't get in the flow of the game, it's hard to get in that rhythm to continue, and that's what happened. You get in that flow when you have those 10, 11-play drives like we did to start it.
It was one of the disappointing aspects yesterday is you were in third and manageable more often and weren't able to execute it.
Yeah, that's the tough thing, is that when you look at it, early in games, you see those plays, whether, we have a false start penalty. We're not lined up initially, and then we go over there and the ball's snapped, and, you go for, I think, whatever, 3rd and 3, whatever it is, and now it's 3rd and 8 longer. And then, you see where the ball's going to be. It should be a conversion. I mean, when you run the routes, actually, when the ball's snapped and someone's not on a defender, but you don't even get the playoff because it's a penalty. Things like that, and that's where you look at it, there's a number of different reasons why plays don't work. And it's unfortunate because you're trying to build off of what you've been doing the past couple of weeks. We didn't execute at a high enough level.
How did you evaluate Cam's day after watching it back?
Well, there's the ups and downs. I think there's some good things, and you look at it. There's a couple opportunities we missed. There was one play, we got an opportunity for a big play, explosive play. You guys asked about throwing it downfield yesterday. We got a chance to throw a big play to Van, and we had a protection breakdown. We didn't scan across and pick up the pressure of the corner off the edge, so we don't make that play. There's a couple drops in there. And, there's a play or two in the progressions you'll look at and say, we need to move on and, move on in the progression and get the ball out. We tried to throw the one hole shot we threw high. So there was the ups and downs throughout the entire game. And for the entire offense, it was not consistent enough. We're playing man coverage at times. We're not creating enough separation.
How do you feel like your tackles have done when they've been matched up against top-level talent like Josh Hines Allen yesterday, like they're going to see in Myles Garrett on Sunday?
Well, I think anytime you play the best in the business, there's going to be the give and take. I think there's plenty of good plays, and then there's the 2 or 3 plays you say, we need to do a lot better. And there's different reasons for it. And so when you're playing the best, you're always, playing someone like Myles this week, you always got to know where he is. So you always have to have presence there and help them out. And so there's been the give and take, I think, against the great players.
I asked Peter yesterday about guys still caring, and he gave a good answer, a heartfelt answer about he sure does, and he's convinced other guys do. But you go and watch the video back, and the striking thing about it is that while he's talking about that, all the background noise is guys laughing. What's convincing about guys still caring when the background soundtrack in the locker room after that game is that much laughing?
Well, I know one thing: the players we have, what this game means to them and how they've worked from day one here is outstanding. They put the time in. They bust their tails every single day. They love the game. They love playing. They love playing with one another, the way they work. So I think, I mean, this is the NFL. I think everyone busts their tails, and the game means something to them, and they're doing everything they can to go out and win football games, the preparation, the way they work, and the way they play.
What's the line between guys caring that much about it and being good enough to win at it?
Well, I think you're saying good enough to win, you got to go out and execute. And that's something yesterday we didn't do well enough. You know, there's opportunities to go out there and make some plays like someone that I already described to you, or an opportunity to get off the field and we don't because of a penalty.
From what I understand, you guys were eliminated yesterday just from playoff contention. So that being said, like as the leader of this team, like how much of a challenge is it to lead them when it's like you got 5 games, but forget about the playoffs?
It's easy. This is the NFL. This is one of 32. You're on one of 32 teams, and you know this is every Sunday is a gem. You have an opportunity to play in the NFL, to go play against the best, and this is what you love to do. We're all very fortunate to be in this business and do what we do. So it's easy to say, hey, you're going to kick off at this time on Sunday, and you're playing the Cleveland Browns in a great atmosphere. I mean, that should speak for itself.
Is that kind of the message that you delivered, like when you spoke to the team?
Oh, I've said that from day one. You know, that's regardless of when it is during the season, it's an opportunity to go out and play in the NFL. It's a game. And I think our players, they love playing the game, so I don't worry about that.
I get that, you know, players are always going to err and want to go for it, so to speak, in fourth down situations. Yeah. But Cam yesterday said, you know, he would like to have gone for it on the 4th and 3. He said, what do we have to lose? I mean, is that a mentality that this team needs to take on now that, I mean, that you're officially eliminated and guys have to, you know, maybe do a little reach, take a few more chances in order to try to make a play to win?
That's what you love about Cam, is he wants to do that. I mean, I coach one of the greatest competitors I've ever been around in Phillip Rivers. And there's been plenty of discussions on the sideline where he's very emotional. And the first thing he does is walk in Monday morning and says, I know why you did that. That was the right thing. But they're all competitors. They want the ball in their hands, and that's what you want. You want all your players to want the ball in their hands.
Guys were very reactive to trash talk. Jeff said what a guy said to him that prompted his personal foul. I know Julius didn't get in trouble for it, but that scrum, he described that the punter threatened to kill him. Isn't there talk like that constantly? Aren't your guys talking like that on a football field? Don't you guys need to walk away from that stuff?
Yeah, it's a divisional game. You're playing a divisional opponent, but you definitely have to walk away. We can't penalize ourselves. It's hard enough to go out and, you know, get a team to get off the field in 3rd down, or to pick up, you know, move the ball on first or on offense in the kicking game. So you got to avoid all that and just walk away, because the penalties, they really hurt your football team, and it makes it that much harder to have success.
Go ahead. Cam and Jeff and a couple of the other guys talked yesterday about the need for a stronger leadership, stronger culture, top to bottom with this team. Is there anything that can be done about culture and leadership at this point in the season? And I guess, how is it fostered? How does culture get built when a team isn't winning?
Well, I think, you know, the culture part of it is, you know, the way everything is done on a daily basis, and the leadership in the organization, and, you know, the leaders of your football team on how they work day in and day out. Guys like Jeff, you see the way he works, the way he prepares, the way he goes out and then plays on Sunday. And, you know, everyone wants to question that when you're not winning. And that's the thing. It's all about winning. But if you look at the way the guys work, Cody and everybody else, they work their tails off. So I think these guys do an outstanding job week in and week out of doing what it takes to go out and play on Sundays.
Do you think that's happening universally across the team, or is it just happening with a couple of the guys that you
I think the entire team does an outstanding job of working. What we got to do is play better on Sundays. But I think the effort, the preparation, the game plans the coaches are putting in, you see the growth of some of these younger players. You look at what they've done. You guys, you know, always ask about Kevin. Look what he did the other day in the game, the way he played at times, and the way he's kind of made his steady improvements And, he's going to make some mistakes. That's going to happen. Just don't make the same mistake twice. There's a number of young players. You talk about all the offensive players. Marcus, I can go on and on about the way these younger players are learning, not just being taught by the coaches, but they learn from the veterans on the football team. And I think it says a lot about the growth of the younger players stems from the leadership of the football team.
Being in your situation, being in your current situation, like, what would you say is the most challenging part of being a leader of this organization?
Well, this is what I love to do. I'm a leader, and I love to lead the organization and help every player any way I possibly can, or any coach or anybody in this organization of whatever they need to help them be successful. And I think we've got a great support staff, a great coaching staff. Everyone in this building is focused and trying to do what we can to help these players be successful as possible. And that's the job of any leader, is help these players get better.
I understand that, but what is the challenge? Like, what's the biggest challenge for you in doing the job of leading this organization?
Well, I guess you could look at, what is our record today to keep the guys going? But goes back to you guys' questions earlier. I think we have great leadership and the way the players have worked week in and week out. So you just keep reminding them of what they're doing, how they're doing it, how can we get better, because it's about winning, and that's what we're trying to do, is win.
I know you're harping on the penalties as well, and probably frustrated they continue to happen. What is there a solution to try to, or repercussions you could have for multiple offenders or repeat offenders in some cases? How do you think the best way is to kind of?
Well, there's a number of penalties they're different. Everyone's different, and why do they happen? And like the earlier question, some of these things you have to walk away from and understand what the consequence is. If someone is doing this to you and you do it, it's that second man that gets caught all the time. Or there's, guys jumping off sides. Those are things, they're all avoidable. And you got to do it. You got to, eliminate those little penalties that make it that much harder to be successful.
What are the indications that your leadership is working, that guys are following you or rallying around you?
Well, I think that they understand that I'm going to tell them, I'm going to be brutally honest with them and tell them the truth. And go in there, and any meeting we have, you talk after a game, the way it is on the sidelines during the game, I am who I am. And I think the guys, the way they've played, now we didn't play our best football yesterday, but I think the way the guys have played and the way they're preparing and what they're doing, that's it.
You often see a change in the way teams play after an interim comes in, but I think your message has been pretty similar to Brian's about the fight through 4 quarters, all that stuff. Can you let us in on some things maybe you've seen change, or is it all just these guys are who they are, they've been fighting type stuff?
Well, I think the players have played extremely hard since we've got here. And I think that you're seeing the growth of the players. Of one big thing that we talked about when you guys first asked, one of the things is the growth of the younger players, and they're playing a lot more than they did earlier in the year. So it's just, you send your message from the first meeting on, and that's the message to the team on how we want to be playing and what we want to do moving forward, and that's what they bought into.
Doesn't that message JC's growth at right tackle this season, and was it hurt at all by the change in the offensive line coaching staff in the middle of the season?
Well, I think JC would tell you there's been the ups and downs on a weekly basis. And like your question earlier about playing against some of the best players in the business with the pass rushers and certain things like that, there's going to be a couple plays every game you look at and say, hey, I wish I would have done this a little better. I've got beat. And there's going to be times, hey, listen, you're going to get beat. That's going to happen against the best players, the pass rushers, any position in this league. There's going to be a couple of those. And then I think it's just more of the consistency that you always talk to the players up front, is be consistent and do your job, on a consistent basis week in and week out. But I think there are going to be some, ups and downs, and there's changes and things like that. And this, when the changes happen, they'll be coached a little bit differently. There's different personalities in that room, but.
You're talking about driving the message home.
Mm-hmm.
Can the message sink in as effectively as it needs to if you're not winning games?
Yeah, I think these guys, they're doing everything they possibly can to go out and win on Sundays, and that they have a burning desire. This is the NFL. You know, in some of the comments you hear guys make, they have a burning desire to win, and they want to go out there and win. They're doing everything they can. So you continuously tell them, this is what we're trying to do. This is what we're trying, how we're trying to get it done, and we got to go out and execute.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was interim head coach Mike McCoy with the Tennessee Titans. I guess I want to start with this because I kind of feel this way after hearing from him now for several weeks. Feels like his message and the way that he delivers could probably become stale real quick. Does not excuse poor execution on the field or anything. But when you're talking about keeping guys motivated, engaged, and all that kind of stuff, it feels like if you were looking for an inspirational voice, and I know he's an interim head coach and that's asking a lot, but it doesn't seem like Mike McCoy is that guy. And it seems like he repeats himself a lot, uses the same phrasing. Don't know if that's the same thing behind the scenes. Maybe that's just press conference Mike McCoy. But I could see an issue where maybe, hey, we're losing, but also the messaging has gone stale as well.
Well, probably to us in the media.
Yeah.
I don't think most coaches say what they say to the media to the actual players. So,
right.
So I don't know if the message is the same or not, or if it's getting stale. I have no idea. But it is for us in the media.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. And now more younger players are playing, so you kind of got to go through that same roller coaster ride now that all those guys are playing and seeing how they can be consistent. But only one player who was starting from the beginning is Cam Ward. And so I would say I'm a little disappointed. I said this before, and that is I want to continue to see growth after the last two games. He went right back to how he was at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And that there is a red flag for me. And that's not good. So I don't know. You got to put most of the blame. The guys are out there. They're the players. But the game plan seems like they did on the first drive. And then after that, they abandoned it. So was it the player? I mean, Cam looked panicked at time, and I hadn't seen him like this the entire season, where he panicked like he didn't know where his outlets were. And he couldn't run up in the middle because they made sure they push. They weren't giving him lanes. And so that was the first time we got to see him kind of look in that fashion, and which was a little alarming. So then I think he was making throws and doing things that we hadn't seen in a very, very long time. So to me, he took some steps back, and that's more concerning on the development, being McCoy, being a former head coach and working with some really good, quarterback, Phillip Rivers, obviously, Hall of Fame type player. So I'm more interested in that. I think all the other young players are up and down. They're starting to play more, so they're starting to build confidence. So once again, they're building foundation, but I don't like what I'm seeing with Cam Ward in this last game. That was a little alarming. And by the way, if some coach doesn't tell him to stop carrying the football like it's a loaf of bread, I'm going to just lose my mind. Like, he should have fumbled multiple times. He just got it swinging around like this. You got to hold that thing steady and tight, and then you can tuck it. He's up there. I mean, man, I was concerned he was going to fumble every time he panicked and then wanted to get. Then he wasn't even standing in the pocket. Sometimes he didn't have to get outside the pocket. He felt like he had to do something. This is not college anymore. You need to know where your outlets are. You dump it down and you keep it moving. So there was some regression there, and I don't know if it's just fatigue or panic or him not liking the play call. I don't know. Or was it more the Jags just kind of fooled them a lot and they just didn't do a lot of things not that first drive.
Right.
Not that first drive. So it was a template right there of what you should be running. And you take some of those plays and you kind of continue to build off those plays, and then you play action pass and play off of those plays. So I want to say it was coaching and Cam Ward. 3 points. They had 70 yards on that first drive and only gained 110 more yards the entire rest of the game. That tells the story.
I was supremely disappointed in how Cam Ward looked. And I'm not trying to bash all on Cam Ward, by the way.
Was open. I'm like, dang.
Yep. Like there was a play deep right to Elikai Manor.
That's the one I'm talking about.
And instead, he misses Elikai Manor. He goes over his head. But also he had Chimere Dike going over top of him in the end zone.
Wide open.
Because Elic took two defenders with him. Chimere beat his one guy, and he's right behind him. Like, you see it from the end zone view of the all-22. you're like, well, that could have been Van, I thought. And I was like, I'm pretty sure it's Chimere DK. I'm like, why is he not throwing it to that guy? And he has all kinds of space to do it, and he didn't do it. It was a big-time regression game for Cam Ward, and that was, to your point, I was very discouraged by that. And now, listen, there's a lot of context around that performance.
Oh, yeah.
Because I do think they abandoned the run game way too early now.
Why?
Yeah, and Mike McCoy tried to use the excuse, well, situationally. Well, then maybe in your first drive back, you don't go pass, which was 5 yards, sack. That's on you. That's not on execution or rhythm, because he's like, well, we had a hard time getting into the rhythm because we had 3 and outs. Well, it's because you call pass plays. When run plays up the middle were clearly working, which also helps get not just your quarterback in a rhythm, but your offensive line in a rhythm. And something that we talked about over the last week or so is that they fail to get into a rhythm and abandon the run game too much. And I think using the 3 it's easy for me to say 3 and outs as a reason why you had to abandon the run game is bullcrap. Because you had 9 plays and you ran on 2 of them. That's bullcrap to me, and I think that's kind of a little bit of selling out your quote players just a little bit. It's a cop out to me.
No doubt. The players are part of the equation always,
right?
But man, that there is. I would have ran those exact same plays as far as the run game and see what adjustments they made.
Yeah,
and see if they made any. Could have been just more of an execution deal.
Right.
And so I couldn't even see if the plays would have worked again.
Right.
I was just baffled. Like,
then they started doing, they did the, they do
then
that
they did
thing.
A little trickery play with the DK.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Oh my gosh.
They run all the way down there, then they do a trick play. And it was funny because we're sitting there watching it, and we harkened back to last year's Jaguars game. Remember when they ran it all the way down the field and then they threw it 3 times at the goal line? I was like, well, that's what they're going to do here.
Yeah.
And then they did it, settle for the field goal, which I get that there's some issues with his 4th and 2 at that point in the game, and I'm not really here to beef around on that. But I do think, like, you were running the football, and you know what? Make them stop you. Like, that's the whole point. You go look at the Carolina Panthers yesterday that beat the Rams with 3 passing touchdowns, 0 interception. Number one, right? Yeah. Ooh. Number 1 team in the NFC. Go watch that team come out in the second half. They go 1st and 10, run play. 2nd and 7, run play. 3rd and 3, run play. 1st and 10, run. 2nd and 8, run. Then they go to a drop back pass for 16 yards down the field. Run. Drop back 30 yards, touchdown. They told the Rams, you have to stop our run game for us to quit doing it. And they did that through the whole game, and they've done that the whole year with 10 different starting offensive line combinations throughout their 13 games.
Wow.
So stop using the players as an excuse and start coaching some football. Like, that's kind of how I feel right now. Like, I get, and I'm going to have to, harp on Cam here in just coming up. But, man, I feel like this, to me, my biggest part of the blame pie, and there's a lot to go around. There's a lot of little slivers. Biggest chunks going to coaching for me, at least offensive coaching and game planning.
I think we as an offense have let defenses dictate what we do all season long. You finally come out and have the ability to dictate what Jacksonville's defense does, and you set the tone on that first drive. I know it only ended up in 3, but still, like, that was a dominant drive right there. And then, like you guys are saying, you don't go back to it, and then basically just let Jacksonville's defense do whatever they want to do the rest of the game like normal. You don't force them to have to try to switch up their game plan at all, put more people in the box. Like, it's just, you can't be getting away from it, like you guys said.
Yeah, I just wonder why they did that. And he can't say because the game got not the second drive. You determined that you wanted to pass the ball 3 times.
3 times.
Like that and I've been praising the coaching staff on the last 2, the game plans, the last 2 games. It was right. This one here, they switched up after the first drive.
It looked like to have Cam Ward, like you said, panicked and confused and kerfuffles, like they didn't even play. Like they didn't even game plan in practice for this particular weird. Jaguars team.
So I'm wondering if the Jaguars, at least as far as from Cam's view, is throwing the football, they do some things different than they saw in film, and that's why it got a little confused. But I'm sure he's going to go back. I mean, one time, you don't have to know football really well, but they were playing quarters coverage and they had a vertical on the seams. You can't throw the vertical. The safety standing right there. I thought the guy was going to get annihilated. Luckily, he made a bad throw and it bounced right in front of the safety.
Yeah.
And I was like, why did you even think to throw there? You should have been looking somewhere else immediately. Like, that was never going to be open. So I don't know if they were, tricking him. And when you sit up in that box, you can see up top, like you're one of the coaches, you could see what's about to happen from a defensive standpoint, what they're in and what they're running. And, man, I felt like he was missing the boat on a lot of the coverages.
Let's talk more about the Tennessee Titans and Jacksonville Jaguars, because why not? This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
There are a lot of things Americans split on, 50-50, of course. Politics, working from home versus the office, coffee versus tea. Man, I battle that every day. But there's one thing we all agree on. Taking your car in for repairs can be complicated. And your repair only gets as good as the person working under the hood. And most of the problems in fixing your vehicle is a knowledge issue, not someone trying to rip you off. I'm still not sure about that. But a lot of techs are not properly trained, so they end up guessing what to do that causes delays in getting your vehicle back or repeat visits on the same freaking issue. For around a quarter of a century, Eurofix has done things differently. Every visit starts with a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection so you know what's going on before we start the work. They give you a call. And Eurofix pays its technicians more than any other company does to attract the best and the brightest talent around. And Eurofix still fixes European vehicles at below dealer pricing with a 3-year, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty on all the work Eurofix performs. And rental cars are available naturally, locally owned, family run with 5 locations here in Tennessee. And all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX or online at myEurofix.com. That's myEurofix.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to call in. We're talking about the Tennessee Titans. As we were talking about coaching malpractice and moving away from the run game and going pass, which ended up being a 5-yard pass, then sack, fumble, then a sack and loss of 10 yards on that last sack. And I'm sitting, and first off, that last sack, that was that last sack on that first 3 and out. 7.42 seconds to get the sack for Josh Allen Hines. So, and there were places where he could go with the ball, Cam Ward, and he did not. And so as much as we'll harp on the coaching and how they may not have had an outlet every play for him, there are those 2 sacks, that sack fumble and that sack right after it, those are on Cam.
Yep.
And listen, it's not pretty every play, but those 2 sacks are on Cam. I am with you. There is something that just was not right about Cam this week. And listen, maybe it was the game plan, maybe it was play calling, maybe the defense was just playing damn good football, and they were. That coverage, Andrew Wingard was everywhere, but that coverage was really good, really sound. Receivers may not be getting open at a high rate. But he himself looks skittish in the pocket. And maybe skittish is the wrong word, but jumpy, I guess you could say, is how it felt to me. He just did not look comfortable, regardless of if the pocket was there or not for him. He did not look comfortable, and he looked very confused to me.
Yeah, they may have got him on some coverages for sure, but him, I don't know if, skittish. It's kind of hard to say. I just felt like he was really uncomfortable when he was looking for escape routes, and there were really none. And then he would go outside the pocket.
Drifted very in the back of the pocket, out the back too. I'm with you on that. He started
reverting back to some of the things you would see in college. And the whole point of when you're a young player, whether you're the quarterback or any position, is you want to see steady growth throughout. Now, are you going to have some hiccups here, especially as far as plays? But this was kind of consistent after the first drive, the entire game. And that's a little worrisome just to see how he rebounds from that because he was making some good strides, and they were, game planning plays where he had to get rid of the ball quick. Now they started running the football. I said, uh-oh. So now they have figured it out, right?
Right.
The balance of what you got to do with running the football and throwing the football, and then eventually the defense gets frustrated because you're moving the ball like that, and they tighten up, and then that frees up the big play. He can't get to that point. I think he gets antsy more so because he wants to make a play. In the NFL, you got to take what they give you when you're a quarterback.
Which is something they said they keep working on. And I felt like last 2 games he was doing that. And he was doing that without a run game. And to your point, what do we harp on all week and even in the pregame show? This team's got to find a run game identity. They have not been able to do something.
That was enough, right?
And that was enough of a start.
Like 80 yards from Pollard or something. Right. But that was still production.
Tony Pollard on 10 carries had 60 yards.
Yeah.
3 explosive runs right off the rip.
First drive.
10, 11, 15-yard runs. And listen, you know what? Those runs came on 12 personnel. And you know how many times, first off, they only ran the ball 14 times, 12 with the running backs. You know how many times it was 12 personnel? 7 of those 14. You know how much they used 12 personnel in the passing game? 17.1%. After using 12 personnel these last 2 weeks at a higher rate than they have been, they abandoned what got them looking good. And I go back to coaching on that because they're the ones who kind of control that, right?
Oh, please help me.
It's crazy to me.
That is just
6.7 yards per carry.
Now some coaches now can overthink, and that's what I feel like is happening here because there's no way they could not go with what's working. It's almost like they had in their mind what they were going to do, and it didn't matter what Jaguars were doing.
Yeah,
I'm like, dang, they had the pads right there on the sideline. So, I didn't even like the call when they went for it on 4th down, that boot. They went big personnel, part of 72. I was like, oh, my gosh.
And he takes a slight second to look at Gunnar Helm instead of taking Tony Pollard, who's already streaking open, and then that half a second can change everything in the NFL. And again, I don't like the play call regardless, but you got to execute even the bad play calls. And he just kind of looked to see if Gunnar Helm was going to get open, but he's also running out of space. And then I'm kind of a little sick of these naked boots, play action naked boots that they run, because they're running it to the side where the good pass rusher's at. Like if you let Myles Garrett do that, Cam Ward's, you're going to have to dig him out of the dirt. Like you got to stop running into the free pass rushers and all that kind of stuff. I'll have to say this, Blaine, and I know this is an unpopular opinion because I know that we're hammering Mike McCoy's for being conservative a lot of the time. I think and I was saying it in the studio before they even ran that fourth down play. Take the points. Your team has shown that it cannot sustain drives up until this point.
On the first drive?
Well, I would have taken the points on the first drive too, but I'm talking about the drive right before half.
Yeah.
I said with the fourth down play call, the Tony Pollard rollout. Even before that, I would have said your offense does not look right. And I would have ran the clock down, took the field goal because you're getting the ball back, and then you're kind of in a ball game where maybe you can reestablish the run.
I wanted they should have asked him if he regrets going for it on that one, because I think he felt pressure even from Cam and his, the players, like, dang, we should have went for it. You could tell players, and I'm glad they took the points there in the beginning of the game. I was all for that. I get how you get the rationale of, you have nothing to lose. This is the first drive. Imagine this. You drive down there, and that was a complete drive outside of scoring a touchdown. Imagine if you get no points.
You may never get points again.
Talking about a gut punch, and they go, we have nothing to lose. Well, wait a minute now. The game just started. We have everything to lose here at this point in time. Let's see how it plays out. Then let's see 2 or 3 drives before we start saying we're going to just go for it on every fourth down. So I completely agree with that, premise. It's tough. He's in a win-lose, never can win situation there, McCoy.
Yeah, I mean, because really, I would have gone field goal both times just because of how the game was going. Like, we talk about that all the time. The analytics may say one thing, but the analytics don't tell you that your team has played like crap and had 3 3-and-outs in between all that. Like, your team was struggling outside of the first drive. I mean, how many yards did they end up with on the...
Ross, would you have gone for it on the third time?
That one at the end of the first half?
Yeah.
I like that they went for it. I hate the play call, but I like that they went for it. I'm with you, though, at the start of the game. I was completely fine with the field goal, and I get why some fans were booing just because, this has been happening all season, but you're right. Like, it's the start of the game. You got to take points there.
188 total net yards for the Tennessee Titans offense. 70 of those came on the first drive.
Yeah,
that's why you take the points in that one.
Only got
because
110
to me,
yards the rest of the game.
Yeah, because to me, your offense just wasn't clicking. And maybe if you take the points and a little bit of momentum and confidence heading into the half, where you're not down by that many at that point, maybe you can come out and reestablish the run because you get the opening drive.
Yeah.
And I think that, maybe I'm giving too much credit that that's what they would have done.
By the way, because they got, the Jags got points.
Exactly.
After some crazy penalties. So that's a whole other story.
That was a gut punch kind of game. It was tough. I don't think the players were handling it very well throughout the game, in terms of the trash talk being given to them and how they were handling it. And listen, everything's a little bit different. I know things get heated, but you got to take a breather. You can't do stuff that hurts your team. But I just felt like the whole offense just looked discombobulated. And the defense, I don't know if you saw the snap counts.
No.
So 63 snaps for Kevin Winston. That's 100% of defensive snaps. Same for Marcus Harris. Okay. Same for Darrell Baker Jr. So they had Kevin Winston kind of playing all over the formation.
He was kind of playing nickel, too.
Yeah.
I saw that. They brought in Woods.
Well, you know why?
Hookie got injured.
Well, you look at this. The only other 2 cornerbacks to get snaps were Micah Robinson, who got 5 snaps, and Kyer Elam, who got 3. They played 3 safeties almost exclusively the entire time. And they're putting Kevin Winston in stuff that maybe he hadn't done.
Yeah,
you know,
those are new there, especially the one I think he lost where he was at. The one he said he needed to stay inside. They ran I call it a bunch route, and he kind of backed up into the end zone, and he just ran a kind of a mush route. It was nothing real difficult, but he had never been in that situation playing in like that. It's effective when they're in the run game because that's kind of his stick.
Yeah.
But, now that he hasn't had a lot of playing time, he hasn't been in these route recognition, how fast things are going to happen, especially in the red zone. I mean, it goes to warp speed. It goes fast.
Well, and there was one in the middle of the field, too. Like, they brought up on TV. They hit, I think they hit Jacoby Myers across the middle.
Yeah.
And he was kind of in that robber position-ish, and Jacoby Myers beat his guy inside, and Kevin never picked him up. He went with the
I think Parker
seam.
Washington, the play before, may have also been on Kevin Winston. I'm not entirely sure on that one.
He
but
got another touchdown caught on him.
Yeah.
But that's just one of those things you could probably, again, Blaine would know better than both of us, but like you could tell he kind of didn't have a great feel out there in those positions he was in yesterday. So
yeah, and it'll come with the experience because he has the tools. But, you know what I love, though? After the game, he's like, those are things I just got to work on. Because he knows, guess what? He's a confident player. He knows these are reps.
Yeah.
These are reps, and I'd be dang, there ain't no way that going to happen again. And he doesn't make the same mistake twice. So those are the things you're looking for.
Because you never know when you'll be in that position again either.
Yeah, right. It may not come for 5 games. I mean, so, they may have a nickel guy. Now you're probably at safety. You just don't know. So I started off there, and, it's just familiarity. I mean, it takes a minute to work and get. Nobody's even talking about, like, chemistry and communication in the secondary. Man, that is vital.
Well, now you had Marcus Harris playing outside after he's been playing inside.
I saw that right at the beginning of the game.
And that's where he exclusively played.
Right.
But, I mean, that's where he was at. And you could tell on the Jacoby Myers touchdown, he's communicating with Marcus Harris. And I'm like, oh, man, we got 2 rookies talking to each other. This ain't going to end good.
Yeah.
And it ended up in a touchdown.
this is like
It's worst case scenario, but it's also good for your players to get these reps. But it's also like on the defense, this is like worst case scenario right now playing out in front of your eyes.
This is it's like the same timeline as last year too, and this is worse than last year in my opinion. We're just a worse team than even last year. But like, remember how around this time last year we competed against the Chargers and the Vikings, didn't win but competed pretty well, and we beat Houston on the road, and then we went up to Washington and just got stomped, and that's what it feels like. We competed with the Chargers.
The Jaguars turned around, things stomped us the following week, right?
But we competed with the Chargers, and then we competed last week, and then yesterday just got absolutely stomped in.
It will be interesting to see how they respond this weekend against Cleveland, against a team that's probably right there with you in terms of how it looks. But Myles Garrett is a totally different beast than what you'll be facing. All right, coming up next, we'll go to your phone, 615-737-1045. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 1045 The Zone. Cover 2, Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to JJ in Nashville. JJ, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking the call. I want to make a kind of a dark point here. But, Blaine, I think you're perfectly positioned to speak on this. You've been so candid about your own career and even the developmental part of your career. Jittery in the pocket, Cam. I mean, I'm a University of Miami guy. I'm a Cam fan. But he had this real deer in the headlights look. And my experience of watching that was not that it was a crisis of confidence so much as a crisis of trust. Had a sense that he didn't trust what he'd seen from his guys. He didn't trust what he was seeing from the defense. And maybe didn't trust himself. And I have to throw this out there, too. You guys know the numbers way better than me. The Titans have run 412 pass plays this season. How many sacks so far? 45, 48? It's pushing up against a 10% sack rate on drop back. That's got to get in your head. You know? I mean, I find myself worrying, is this the game where he goes down with a season-ending injury or a career-ending injury? Because you fall the wrong way and you're out for the rest of the season, you know? So how does he get that trust back, Blaine? And how concerned are you guys, given this high percentage of sacks, that he's going to survive? Thanks.
Thank you.
You go ahead, Zach, first.
Yeah, crisis, and he says it right here, a crisis, and not a crisis in confidence, but a crisis in trust. And I do wonder, I mean, I could see that. I don't think Cam Ward has ever lacked for confidence, but I do feel like there was something about either A, this game plan, or B, what he was seeing that he just didn't trust it. He didn't trust whatever was going to develop. And
dare I say, was he seeing ghosts?
Well, I don't know. I learned early on last year when I first started this job, I should not say that.
No.
But like it does.
What I reference is this is never a conversation amongst coaches or players.
Yeah.
Amongst media, yes.
It feels like, to me, that he was sensing he didn't have trust in either A, his offensive line to hold some of the guys for another half a second or a beat or two. But a lot of it was him drifting out of the back of the pocket, too. And that was something that he's had trouble with. And I do think, to his point, he was pretty spot on. 10.43% sack rate.
Ooh.
So over 10% of the dropbacks, he's getting sacked. And that can take a toll on you, right? But, I mean, it just kind of felt like it came out of nowhere in this game because it was happening before the first two sacks, and the first two sacks were because of Cam Ward acting that way. So, it was
the
weird.
Jaguars props. I think they confused him a little bit, and then that led him down this road, and then it continued to happen. So then he thought, okay, I can try to make, something out of nothing. And that's why he was late, even thinking about some of his, dump offs. But
I mean, they were sending.
Trust comes from just trusting the play, the coaching staff, as well as the players, and that's just through practice. And then, sometimes the coaches all don't get it right, so you can't let that tweak your confidence in what they're calling. So it's just you got to trust in the guys that you're throwing to, and you got to put it on them if you're throwing them the football and they drop it or
that's how you get your trust back, right?
You got to keep feeding them. I mean, so that's a tough one there because we're not in the locker room. So I don't know if he's losing trust, but I do know he's getting hit, and unconsciously you don't want to get hit. I mean, at this point in time, so I don't know what's the sack record. I have no idea.
Oh, I think it was 60-something with
68 or 9, or maybe 72 or something. So he's not approaching that. He's still, how many games left? 5 games?
5 games left. 76 sacks. And that was his rookie year, David Carr's rookie year with the Texans.
I think teams just, they know how to rush us because it's not very complicated. Of course.
It really isn't.
But of course, every team obviously wants to push the middle of the pocket, but like when you push the middle of the pocket with us, you take away the only run lanes that Cam has because he's not somebody that's going to get out the back door and beat you on the outside, and he's not much of a threat on the run either as of, what we've seen this season. So you just push the middle of the pocket and let these edge rushers just run the loop. Or if our tackle's set way too far, which happens sometimes, just undercut them and get to the quarterback.
It's like because they know that this offense or staff or whatever you want to say, they know they won't have an answer. If you take one thing away, Tennessee Titans will not have an answer for you because they feel very bland, boring offense. So if you took away Cam Ward's running lanes, they probably practice running up the middle with Cam Ward all the week. And then you took that away, they don't know what to do. Well, we'll go back to I don't know why you would go back to the worst of worst play calls, but it felt like I was watching week 3 Brian Callahan Tennessee Titans team.
Yeah, that's why I said it was some major steps back. This was here. We had fumbles. I just felt like they weren't. I think a lot of media were asking this question or alluding to this is that were they engaged? And that could have started just with the basic fundamentals of the week up to the game.
Yeah.
So sometimes you get a little mental fatigue, especially being young players, let alone physical fatigue. So I don't know, man. But this one here, it was baffling, especially from Cam, because I thought he was going down this right track. So he went back to his college days right here, and that's not going to be effective in the.
Well, what's the real Cam now? Is what we're all wondering. Is the real Cam we saw the last 2 weeks, or is the real Cam what we saw the majority of the time this year? We got to say it is the majority of the time.
By the way, where is the defense of the Jags ranked?
Oh, middle of the road.
Yeah.
They're not an elite.
No.
Then that's the thing. He looked really good against elite competition these last few weeks, and then he looks really bad against this one. That's not what you want to see.
Right, because every NFL team has some really good players.
That is true.
So you just don't know because they had their A game and we didn't.
It felt like that Raiders game. We're coming off. We come off a win versus the Cardinals. We're playing the Raiders. It's a great opportunity.
We can win. Right?
And we can win. And they just look off. They look better in that game than they did in this game. But, and I know we weren't coming off a win, but it's like, man, this is a very winnable game based on how we've been playing.
That question which is the real Cam, does have to be considered and into your mind, but also with the understanding that the book is far from written on what Cam Ward can and can't be in the league. But when you're talking about taking game-by-game situations and game-by-game assessments, this was about as worst of an assessment that you can make on a quarterback that we've seen since Will Levis. And I know we've seen Mason Rudolph, and that's not been much better than anything else, but this was, and again, it's not all his fault. And I know it sounds like I'm piling on Cam Ward, but there was a lot that he needed to clean up. Both sacks were over 5 seconds long. The last 2 sacks that weren't the sack fumble.
I don't know how many times I kept on saying, get rid of the ball.
Right.
Get rid of the ball.
Well, and the one at the end of the game, he extends it for forever on 4th and a mile and just dumps it to Spears right on the sideline at 2 yards.
He about killed Spears a few times that game.
Yeah.
Did you see the one that Cam Ward threw and he was like, his knee was bent under and he just flipped it to the left? And I was like, oh, man, you're going to get hurt if you try to do that. Man.
Right.
Stop that, man.
Take a lot of yoga or something.
I was like, oh, man, hey, man, take the sack. Don't even do that.
Yeah. Let's go to Johnny in Chattanooga. Johnny, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Must be flexible taking yoga.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for taking my call. So just going off the players' post-game comments, it kind of seems like McCoy's lost the room. So I was just curious, do you all think that the Titans should look for an outsider to come in to serve as interim for the remainder of the year? And who do you think they should consider bringing in, if anyone? I know personally I'd really like to see franchise legend Eddie George come back and steady the ship for the rest of the year. But thank you.
Thanks.
I think Bowling Green would have some issues with that.
Yeah.
Fan fiction there.
They would be the first team in NFL history that I can find that has fired an interim head coach. Now,
during the season, right?
During the season.
The only thing I can think of is Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, he got fired at the end of the season, but during the season.
And what is that going to do? What is that going to do?
I don't think it'll do anything.
Nothing.
I don't know. And that's the thing is there's just no solution. And I think that's what we kind of have to kind of understand right now.
Do you think he's losing the locker room, though? That was the initial kind of.
I don't know. I mean, how do you take Cam Ward's comments, about after the game saying, well, I want to go for it?
But he's been saying that.
And then, see, that's my thing is like, I think that's first off, I want that out of my quarterback. But second off, he's been saying the last 4 or 5 weeks that I want to go for it every time I get the ball.
But I would like him to follow that up and say, but that is the coach's decision.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's not my decision, but I want to do. Okay. I want to go for it because I'm a competitor. Guess what? When I was playing, I wanted to go for it. Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it. Every time. And never fail.
Yeah.
Any care if it was 4th and 4. Go for it. Right? That's just the competitor in you. And I think that's what he's trying to convey, but it can be misconstrued.
And then Jeffrey Simmons is already talking about what he wants to see in the next head coach.
Well, he was addressing a question.
Yeah. But he's still, I don't know, like, is that one of those situations? I'm just throwing out these examples that everybody's using. I'm not necessarily sure that he's lost them. I just think that maybe it feels like they're going through the motions, and maybe that is a form of him losing them, but it just feels like they're kind of going through the motions, at least on offense yesterday. It felt uninspired, I guess would be a great word.
Thank you for bringing that up about the 4th downs, because that pissed me off in the press conference last hour when he talked about 4th downs and he brought up Phillip Rivers and he said he would be super emotional and we'd come back in and he would realize why coach was always right. Do you think you've been right about all those decisions this year? Because newsflash, you haven't.
Well,
he admitted when he was wrong, though.
But it was
that post game anyway.
I didn't think that was funny because I was sitting there thinking, did Phillip Rivers really come in and say that? Right. I don't know about that.
Well, he was saying it acting like every decision he made yesterday was right. Like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah. But also, it's like it goes back to when Brian Callahan said, well, I don't think my play calling was an issue.
From McCoy's point of view, watch this. He still thinks he's got a shot at being the head coach.
Well, I will say this.
That's what I'm telling you.
When he first got the job, you kept saying that or kept saying that, there's a good chance maybe he can do it. And then I'm like, I feel pretty good now he ain't coming back.
Right. But I think he's still, because he knows every game is its own animal. So what if they go on a nice little streak here at the end? Which is, somewhat could happen.
Right.
You play the Jags the second time. You play the Saints. Next thing you know, you may win 3 games. Maybe.
Right.
I don't know about the 49ers or just don't know. You end up winning, 2 games, and all of a sudden you win 3 games and you didn't get the first pick. So, we should be fired for that.
Yeah.
I ain't too worried about the first pick. I'm going to be honest with you. I think we might have that one on lock.
I was so floored. Like yesterday felt like a gut punch, and a lot of people have called in and responded on Twitter and everything to the post-game show and said that was a worse loss than the 59-0 snow game.
Ooh.
I don't know if I would go that far because I feel like there was a Ravens game in the rain where Marcus got sacked like 9 times. This was a pretty bad game for the last at least 4 years. I think this was the worst game I've seen in at least the last 4 years. This was a bad game.
There was just nothing always good about effort. I don't feel like effort was the issue.
I think on defense they were playing their heart. They're playing lights out, trying to get things accomplished and trying to get things done.
I thought it was just poor execution, poor game planning.
It may just look like that, and maybe because it is poor game planning and poor execution, it makes it look worse from a effort standpoint than what it actually really is.
Watch this. Why were they getting in scuffles? Think about this now. People don't get in scuffles unless they care.
But that was
you could say if
all
it's bad
defense and special teams.
I'm just saying, Like, hey man, we suck.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm still fighting. That's what it told me. We could talk about all the negative part of getting the penalty, but the guy who doesn't care and they're just trying to collect a check, they'll just run off the field and be like, man, forget that dude.
Yeah.
Right. Hey man, you're not gonna be talking to me like that. You could talk about all the stupidity and all of those things, but I don't think you be fighting guys and not even gonna let a punter say crap to me. Are you, man? You better get out of here.
A punter,
right? That's exactly it. So to me, I look at effort more so. If some teams look like they died, that New England game, oh man, that was crap.
Yeah,
that was crap. And that snow, Ooh, it was like you knew it was over. They didn't want to be out there on that field in that snow.
To be honest, I probably don't blame them. Hey, listen, I did the pregame show yesterday, and I'm walking down our little platform, and I'm wearing 2 socks, insulated boots, and my feet were frozen all damn day.
I didn't thaw out till I got home.
Yeah. Oh, I was here cold. It took me about an hour once I got home to finally get warm.
Yeah, y'all look so cute with your little mitts on and Buck with his earmuffs.
Hey, I'm going to put you out there next. Listen.
Hey, I was out there Friday night at the Ravenwood game. I was freezing. I know.
They won. They're going to state, right?
They're going to state. But, like, can't you just put your hands in your hoodie pocket or just,
Hey, listen, ain't nothing was keeping me warm up there. I'm buying some heat packs for the next one.
I got mine already. I'm ready. I'm prepared. That I was mad that I didn't have
Hey, ask for that for Christmas. Just give me a bunch of heat packs.
I had somebody give them to me in the tunnel. Said, go in there in the Titans locker room, give me some heat packs. I got you.
That was so cold.
What if you were covering the team up in Buffalo or something? What would you do?
I don't know. Hey, listen, a funny story about that, just real quick, and then we'll go. Is that I went to a Buffalo game in like late November and early December, and we packed all this stuff, like hand warmers, electrical vests, and all this stuff. Ended up being 60 degrees out there.
Oh, my.
All that. And we never check when we go bags. We had to check all this luggage and all that kind of stuff. All right. Coming up next, we'll go straight to the phones. We're going to go bam, 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 bam. We got Alan, Zach, Chuck, and whoever else is calling in right now. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
That was Bam's call.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. Let's go to Eric. Eric, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hey, guys. This is Eric. I just wanted to give you a quick comment. It was October 18th of 2009. I took my, at that time, 9-year-old son to go to Foxborough. And, man, you would not believe the feeling that you have when you're sitting in a stadium like that and you're getting pummeled, by every player out there on the Patriots team. At the end of the day, my son was happy because he ended up getting a glove from Randy Moss. So that's his sadness for the day is because he got a Randy Moss glove. So that's my story. We did go to Fenway Park the next day, so it was a fun trip. But
do you think they quit on that day? The players?
Oh, I guess we lost them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cold. 59-0, all that stuff.
Didn't they play a game up in Lambeau, too, in like 08 or something, and they just got absolutely killed it was around Christmas. Because you remember that iconic picture of that Titans fan?
Yeah, it's a Bustin' Diamonds picture on the profile picture on the YouTube chat.
That was a bad one,
That was a bad one, too.
I don't know, that playoff game they played against New England in 04, that was freaking freezing. The one, Drew Bennett, who was the legend of the game, by the way, Sunshine there, has dropped a ball right there at the end, but it was so freaking cold. The ground was frozen. What was the temperature? Are you looking it up? Oh, no.
No. On 2004?
I think that it was the playoff against New England. That may have been the coldest game ever. It was no snow. It was, snow, but it was more ice, and that ground hurt.
Wind chill of -10 to -12 that day.
It was 4 degrees Fahrenheit. Then you had the wind chill.
Which wind chill is how it really feels. So, that's bad.
I'll take that Cleveland game with the snow and Eddie George running for 200 yards any day over that day.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Alan in Nashville. Alan, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
I'm cool.
Hey, guys. It seems like Cam Ward, at least for the time being, has corrected the turnover issue.
Yes.
Now, to me, at least watching on TV, he keeps, especially when he's scrambling and such, he tends to run toward the rushers. I don't get it. Every time, or maybe every time he spins or something, he turns toward the rushers. I can't get that. I hope I'm not the only one that's seeing that. It doesn't seem like he sees the field too clearly.
I think those are good points, and I thought that was how it felt yesterday. And he does go into pressure more often than not. I mean, I even in the good games these last few weeks before this one, there were times where he created his own pressure. And, I know PFF isn't the end-all, be-all, but I went through and watched all the film. They put 2 sacks on Cam. I'd put those first 2 sacks on Cam, too. And I think there was one other on Cam, like a hit or hurry. Probably the Latham one is kind of how I would put it. The one where Latham gets driven back, but he had time to go over to Cam or to Tajay Spears over in the flat, and he didn't.
Well, he had a Moore got bull rush just like Latham did.
Yeah, Dan Moore as the game went on.
Oh my God,
it got worse and worse from Dan Moore. I know Myles Garrett probably is going to want to get fed by both those tackles. But if I was Myles Garrett, I was like, just give me an easy day against Dan Moore.
He's going to set the sack record against the Titans?
Yeah.
Because if he gets 4 sacks, is that right, Ross? I think he'll have the record.
Did he get one yesterday?
He did get one yesterday.
So he's at 19 now?
Yes.
So he needs, 4.
22, so 4 would break the record.
Yeah, isn't it 22 and a half?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think he's going to get 4. I would be very surprised. If he doesn't break the record against the Titans, they actually did something right. The Titans did.
It could be
or he got injured. Let's go to Zach in Columbia. Zach, you're on with Blaine and Zach.
Hi, guys. Love the show. I'd like to get your thoughts on something. So it's kind of disheartening as a Titans fan watching the other games playing around the league. Like last night, the offense put on a show, and they should have won the game. But it's filled up with a lot of ex-Titans players that are playing really good for other teams. And
you talking about Marcus and Traylon Burks? Great one-hand catch.
Exactly. And Mariota played a good game. Then you got Jeremy Nichols. He plays really good. And, all this, it's like they leave the Titans and they play really good. And, I kind of, call me crazy, but I kind of think it's not an accident that we're so bad. You get Grable. He was a great coach. Should not have been fired. And then, I forget the other guy went to playoffs and got fired. Was it Malarkey?
Mm-hmm.
So, you look at Nashville. It's a big tourist city, and you get these other teams coming in, and they have a great time. They come play and whoop up on us and have a great time when they come to Nashville. And the Nissan Stadium, I've been there a couple of times. It's kind of cold. It can get cold up in there, but they're building a new stadium.
We're up against it, Zach. I have to let you down here. But do you?
Cold in the studio.
I kind of get what he's saying, but also I think coaching is a little bit more of a difference than what we give it credit for right now.
Yeah. Okay, let's get Charlie in last.
All right, let's go, Charlie. Charlie, you're the last one. What you got?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that he's a quitter. Our quarterback quit on us. We need to bench him. We need. He doesn't deserve to miss our other 53 players. You could see it obviously. He quit on the team, and I would even go to the extreme of taking his number off his jacket because he is disgracing that number. And any coach that would let a player play a full game that bad, he's got to go too, because it takes an idiot to let that bad of a player, a quitter, to let him continue to play the game. It's just not right.
Are you talking about did you call into a Tennessee Titans show? Because I don't think Cam Ward quit yesterday.
Oh, I do. Oh, absolutely. He was throwing those balls like he was throwing out in the left field with a baseball. What was his percentage throwing accuracy? I don't understand why
63.9%, I believe, yesterday.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
My God. Well,
better than Trevor Lawrence's.
Then you're going to see them continue. Just watch what it's not fair for the 43.
Sorry, I have to let you go because we're going up against the break. At 3HL's up next. Do you feel like Cam Ward quit? Charlie said it was very obvious.
No, let's get last. We cannot end that way. No way.
We
can't do it.
No, we gotta go. Trust me, we gotta go here.
Oh my!
But that was not expecting that one.
That was a rant.
A Cam Ward has quit on the team rant. Wow. I don't know what play started that in his eyes, but I did not see that whatsoever. Blaine is floored.
Yeah, what do we do?
I cannot believe that.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Man.
Happy Monday indeed. All right.
I think he woke up on the wrong side.
Compose yourself.
I know. We're not quitting. We'll be back tomorrow. We're just taking a little bit of a break here.
I may quit after
you may
that.
What
was y'all's completion percentage?
Yeah, what's our completion percentage? 3HL's up next. They're at a Moment's Peace Day Spa and Salon down in Franklin. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. And in the meantime,
quitter. And in between time,
peace.
I will never quit.